your head as we sit on the wall. We are one, we are all family. Though tough times come, I will not waver. We will rise and we conquer a new ground. We will stand up and rise together. We will march into victory. Hold my hand and they say we know. I do I, it's for you as it has been for me. Open your heart and notice in your soul. Our hopes, our dreams are the same. Ooh, my walk and you, I will finish this race. Not alone, by myself, but with you. Though tough times come, I will not waver. We will rise and we conquer a new ground. We will stand up and rise together. We will march into victory. Hold my hand and we say we know. I do I, it's for you as it has been for me. Everyone shine. All of us there's for a reason, for a greater vision. We will stand up and rise together. We will march into victory. Hold my hand and let's say we know. I it's for you as it has been for me. We will stand up and rise together. We will march into victory. Hold my hand and let's say we know. I it's for you as it has been for me.
Good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to our weekly international prop chat on every Wednesday, 3 p.m. GMT plus 8 at Facebook or YouTube Live at IQI International Sales. I'm Mandy Chan from IQI Global, your host of the day. On behalf of IQI Global, the Asia's biggest real estate and investment agency, also a Juwai member of Juwai.AsiaHK, I would like to thank everyone for your supports and on our program. Our sharing usually features some of the best investments and projects in the various hotspots around the globe. We also feature some of the market updates, lifestyles, as well as the culture of the countries. If you like our program, which you think that is benefiting you, do invite and share it with your friends. Should you have any questions, feel free to leave it at the comment box. We will revert to you later. This month, we will talk about Canada. What's the first thing that comes to your mind when you think of Canada? Well, for me, it's the weather. It's indeed a very cold country, but with a very beautiful scenery. From the thundering water of Niagara Falls, possibly the most famous waterfall in the world, and not forgetting Canadian Rockies. There's plenty of natural beauty in every part of the Canada. And Canada also have the longest coastline in the world, also have more lakes than every other countries, and the national park are a true natural wonder. Visit any part of Canada and you will experience beautiful natural landscape like no others. Besides tourism, Canada is popular for its education as well as migrations. Every year, thousands of people coming from Asia especially migrating to Canada. Hence, for the past decade, real estate is becoming a booming industry in Canada. People not only will live, but will invest too to cater for the current demand. Today, we are very honored that we have our guest speaker, Mr. Yousaf, our country head of IQI Canada, to brief us the latest Canada real estate review. Without further ado, let me invite our speakers. Hello, Yousaf. How are you?
Hey, Mandy. Good, good. How are you doing, Mandy?
I'm fine. How's the weather in Canada now? I always like to
Oh,
ask these questions.
yes, yes. The weather is good. It's getting a little bit chilly, but I would not
Mhm.
say it's still not. It's not chilly, but it's getting a little bit cold. But we've had a very good hot summer, and
Mhm.
I was just on the backstage listening to you. You know so much about Canada. It seems like you already been to Canada. About talking
Yeah.
about the Niagara Falls and the coast and things like that. So right now weather is good, and it's going to start getting cold probably in next couple of weeks or 3 weeks. Normally, when the Halloween comes in, then this
Mhm.
is the time you could expect that the weather starts getting a bit more colder.
Wow, can't wait to actually visit Canada, especially during winter time.
Please welcome. Looking forward to seeing you.
Okay, I understand that today you're going to brief us some of the market updates regarding the real estate in Canada. So, without further ado, the floor is on yours.
Great. Thank you so much, Mandy. First of all, thank you for the opportunity and thank you for all the audience who are listening to us. I must say that, IQI International Sales, especially headed by Mandy, she gave a very good introduction. But then I just want to introduce Mandy as well, that, I call her like our super lady because she is a part of every country. She knows what's going on everywhere on that and, appreciate for that as well. So what I want to do in today's session, Mandy, is to talk a little bit about what the market, how the market has been going on. As a lot of time we're talking about the interest rate outlook, the inflation outlook, and overall how the market has performed in last not just a few months, but also what is very important at the same time, Mandy, is to see how the market has been historically going on in Canada overall on that. Uh, you know, we'll talk about a few more topics about the immigration things like that. But let's jump into straightly into the market update on that. So let me see if I can just share my slides. Can you see my screen?
Yes.
Perfect. Okay, great. So, sorry about that. It's a lot of stats today, which I've got on my presentation. But then the reason for that stats is that because it's important for people to understand that what's going on in the market. So, I want to start with something which is a very hot topic all over the world, not over in Canada. It's
Mhm.
about the interest rate because interest rate inflation is directly related to real estate as of what we've been seeing for the last few months on that, this very interesting chart which I have picked up over here is to show you that, on my right hand side over here, the interest rate was going from the Bank of Canada, or from the bank's perspective, was about in April 2021 was 0.25, March 2nd, 2022, it started going up by zero point 0.5, which is an increase of 0.25, then zero point 0.5, then 0.51, 0 and 0.75. Similarly, you can see that how the interest rate has been going on, what we call as a Canada prime rate changes from a 2.50 from 2010 till 2020, March 30, 2020, we were 2.45. March 3rd, 2020 went to 2.70, and now we are almost at 5.45, which is an increase which has happened on that. Now, there's a couple of more interest rate increase which is being expected in this year as well, November and December on that. So basically, just to give a little bit of snapshot of the inflation rate, we'll talk about the current inflation rate as well, why the interest rates have been going up all over the world in Canada as well, because it is to bring the inflation down. As you know, the inflation is taking a major part of everybody's life right now. Things are getting expensive, and the government is increasing this interest rates to make sure that the inflation is matching up at level as well on that. The recent rate of inflation, if you look around as well, is that from January, if you're looking at 2021, we're about 4.8%. January 5.1, February 5.7, March 6.7, April 6.8, 7.7, 8.1, 7.6. The good thing is news is that from June, now what we are seeing right now, including the August one, we're seeing the inflation is going down by a little bit down on that for 7%. So if you see right from October, November, it was still about 4.7 in 2021, but now we started seeing it going up. If you look at the difference between August of 2022 and 2021, it's almost like 3% increase in inflation, what we were in last year in August 2021 on that. So that is the reason interest rate has been up. The bank's monetary policies is still very flexible, but at the same time, as it is coming out from the government of Canada, we will see an increase in the interest rates on that as well. So this is basically another thing giving us the what is the bank policy rate right now and what is the inflation target right now on that. So 3.25% is the overnight borrowing rate. The
Mhm.
prime rate, what we call, is basically the rate which is being charged by the bank is about 5.45%. Now, very interestingly, if we and this chart, what I'm trying to show in this chart here is that the way we're seeing the inflation has been going up and down, which is based on the consumer price index. So, in the start of January, I remember November, December, January, when banks were offering, HSBC was offering 0.99% on your mortgages. So you could buy a house at 0.99%, you could buy a car at 4.99%. So that's how cheap it was in terms of the interest rates on that. But then obviously with the passage of time, the interest rates have been going up. Historically speaking, the interest rates which is going up right now, this is not something which is really very new for us, because if we go back in 2007 and 8, before the big financial crisis, we were seeing that the interest rate was still up about 5% to 7% to 6% on that. The difference, what has happened right now, is that obviously the prices of the houses were not that high at that point in time. So right now, obviously, if you're doing it at 5%, people are looking at it. So what is done to the real estate market overall is that people right now are at a world, they are buying it, but then they're also looking for the investment opportunity. So a lot of first-time home buyers are still in the market. A lot of investors are in the market as well, but it's not the same buying spree because the borrowing rate makes a big difference to the way it goes on in terms of people buying habits on that, right? So that's what the little bit on that. So I just want to give you some of the residential stats, and this is basically stats based for the last month. This is not the yearly stats. I'll give yearly stats as well. So this is basically telling us that what has happened over in 20 September of 2021 to September 2022. And the reason I wanted to bring that is that because I wanted to correlate it to the inflation part of it as well and the interest part as well. So we were at that point in time, the bank's uh, interest rate was almost like 3% to 2.53%, and now it's 5.45% on that. Also, the inflation was about 4%, and now it's about 7%. So what has happened is that, so what's happening is that overall residential transactions have slowed down. So what it means is that a lot of people are not buying it. So in September 2021, if Toronto Real Estate Board reported about 9,010 homes which were sold. In September 2022, it was about 5,038 homes sold. So which is, you can see, almost half of it, which is 44%, which has shown that the market has slowed down in terms of its buying and selling spree on that. Talk about the average price. Now, this is again, this is an average price which is based on a 416 area. We see a little bit down in terms of the 4%, which is not really much. This is the first time actually we have seen it going down 4% for last 8 9 months. So January, February, March was really crazy when the prices were going on very, very high. But now in the last few months, we've been seeing they've been steady. This is the first time we've seen it going down 3 to 4%. But then this is again is all driven by the policy of the interest rate policies as well, right? Because you want to make sure that the interest rate is being corrected at the same time as well. But what is also showing us right now is that the number of listings is going down as well. For example, in last year, the listings were about like 13,494. Again, this is I'm talking about purely about Toronto real estate board states, and I'll come to the whole national stats as well on that. So your listing is down by 16.7%. The average days for a property to sell in 2021 September was approximately about 19 days. Now it's taking almost like 35 days. So it's not like the properties are not selling. It's still selling right now, to be honest with you. But then it's just slowed down in terms of what it was selling out, how quickly it was selling out before as well. Again, monetary policy, the interest rate. A lot of people are thinking that how the banks is going to behave on it, and how their mortgage will be affected. Because one more thing people have in mind is that should I go lock my mortgage? Should I keep it at variable? Should I keep it at fixed rate? If I keep it at fixed rate, and we're talking about close to about a bank right now, borrowing rate is 5.45, and even they give you, a 0.45 or 0.5% down. It's close to about like 5%. And do they really want to lock it for 5% down or not? That's another question which is going on a lot of time in people's mind, whether they should be locking that or not. So that's kind of a thing which is kind of slowed down on that. But then, interesting, this was just a residential resale part of it, and then our freehold. And this is what I want to talk about, the condominium part of the things as well, so which we call about the condo market. Interestingly, the condo market, the new listings have been approximately the same. And the reason is that because a lot of first time home buyers are going for condominiums, more affordable. A lot of more investors are going for condominium. The prices are still a little bit more cheaper as compared to the freehold, which is a semi-detached or a townhouse and detached house and all that. All right. The average days on the market is approximately the same, 13 days and 15 days on that, right? Sales are down, which is okay, as I was telling you, 8,775 to last year, 5,687. But what is really interesting thing is over here, right? I mean, if you look here, your condo average selling prices are still up by 12.2%. So which shows that any condos which are selling about 686,000, 88,000 last year, they're still selling about 769,000. So on an average, if I say that the real estate market in Toronto or in Toronto Real Estate Board or overall in Canada, we have seen a healthy growth, which you'll always see is about between 5 to 8%. And I think any real estate market which is still doing a 5 to 8%, 10% growth, it's a very, very healthy market to look at that. So right now, the condo market is doing amazing, 12.2%, which shows that, buyers are sitting in the market. They are just waiting to see as well that how every interest rate policy is going to make a difference to their payments and things like that. So that's on the condominium stats of it. Now, interestingly, what I also want to show is the rental. So because Canada is an immigrant country and it's 2022 right now, things have opened up and a lot of people are coming in, whether it's related to international students, whether it is related to immigrants coming in, because for the last 2 years there's not been a lot of travel going on right now on that. Due to that, what we are seeing right now is that the apartment rentals in terms of their average rent is going up. So, which is about close to about 20% increase. So, what it means for the investors or for the people looking, even for the people who are renting, is that if you're an investor, why not get into an apartment or get into any of the places where you could have an increase of 20% in terms of the rental. So prices have increased, number one. Even the rental has got increased as well. So you can't go wrong with that. For the renters, as they could see that condo market is still going on, still a good opportunity to get into the condo market right now, and why pay a higher rent on it? So those are the things to look at it on that. So what we've seen the renter stats, also that the prices and the in the rental market is going on. And very interestingly, right now, Mandy, on an average, when we put up property for rent from our team side or anywhere side, we're seeing that there's multiple offers coming on rentals, which shows that a lot of more influx of people is coming in who are looking to rent properties. And believe it or not, we're getting like people are actually paying, upfront 1 year's rent, full upfront 1 year's rent, just to protect and secure a place on that. And I'm talking about everybody's got nice jobs and things like that, but that's how the renter shortage is right now. So what it brings down is the vacancy rate. That means the vacancy rate is less than 1% in Toronto. So that's how people are looking at that perspective on that. So just to give a little bit about the average price in the Toronto real estate market, what we have seen is that, and again, I want to bring this average prices there because people want to see that what has happened over the years. So starting from 1976, if you see the number of sales was just 19,000 sales, right? 61,000 was an average price. Keep going to it. In 2000, there was about 58,000 sales, which was reported by Toronto Real Estate. But I'm talking about just the Ontario right now, not the whole of Canada. And the average price was about $243,000 on that. Interestingly, 2008 was 379,000. 2013, it was 522,000. 2016, 729. Okay. and then 2021 an average price of 1,095,000 on that. So it was very typical to say in the Canadian market that if you buy a house today, within 10 years you should be able to see double of that price. Actually it's more than that. If you look at 2001 or 2010, it was about 431,000 or 497, 464,000, right? And right now we're talking about 1,095,000. So it is actually over than what you have paid for a price at that point in time. So what has happened is that the reason what has been driving all these price increases and for demand is again the population count, which is coming up from the immigrant side as well, because every year there are students graduating, people are coming in, and that's how we're seeing the increase. So average, people always want to talk about. That's what I was saying, but it's always a good look at the history of it, not compare it to a month to month. Comment on that what we have seen every year, we have seen an increase going on in the price. For example, somebody who was buying a house in 2014 for about 566,000 is sitting it on a 1.1 million right now on that within like 6 7 years on that, which is double of what they have already paid on their thing. I mean, this is again brings about what is driving in terms of the update on the prices is the real estate market. So this is again an average prices, which I want to show again from 1975 to 2020, and that's what we have seen overall in terms of the pricing, which has increased on that. So overall, to give you an update on the market side of it, that what we have seen right now is that the prices have been very steady going on. A lot of questions which is get asked to us by our investors, a lot of people is that, like, what's the outlook, what's going to happen? The interest rate is going up, the inflation is going up on that. Should I buy it today? Should I wait for another few months or something like that? And this is what I tell everybody who's looking for the buyer market. The best day to buy property was yesterday and today, because tomorrow you don't know what's going to happen with the market, all that, right? And we have seen that, when the market was going crazy in January, February, March, people were asking me, "Oh, this should we buy right now?" I said, "You know what, market is crazy right now, just because it was a crazy market." And then all of a sudden, now people are thinking that it's going to go down. So I think the overall market position, what we're seeing from the Canada perspective, this is going to be on a rise. The interest rate will go up. We will see the interest rate keep going up on that. But at the same time, we will see that the market will continue to grow as well. I think you're on mute, Wendy.
I understand that a lot of people are actually quite worried about the property bubbles. What
Yeah.
is your opinion on this?
So I tell you what, last 15 years I've been in business, and last 15 years I've been hearing this thing, people saying that it's a bubble, it's a bubble, it's a bubble, it's a bubble. So my question to answer to your question is that if it was a bubble, it would have busted by now. The reason again it's not a bubble is that because actual consumers are here who are looking this. It's just not the investors. So what happens is that if you have a market which is just full of investors and people are not renting it out, people are not looking for those kind of places, and everybody is just buying, 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 and putting in the market. And you see all of a sudden there's no renters in the market. That's where the bubble comes into the market, where people are just buying it and there's nobody to rent it out. So here it's a different story. People are buying it as investors or for their own use. Renters are coming in, the immigration is coming in, the people are looking at. So right now, in terms of the demand and supply, to be honest with you, our demand is still very high and our national supply is still very, very low. So, talking to developers, as we deal with a lot of developers, the inside thing is that they cannot just make up something as soon as possible, in terms of the housing. It takes an average about 6 to 8 months in Toronto to get the work permits going on. Then it takes about 2 3 years for them to build up a condominium building on that. So all those things, and right now keeping that thing as far as the demand and supply is not balanced. I just don't see that there's any kind of a bubble in this market or in future market, at least in Canada.
Okay, and being one of the top performers country in our IQI Global, and of course, I want to take this opportunity to congratulate your team and for being so successful. we were just wondering, right, among all the transactions, right, majority is more on the off the plan or on the secondary markets?
It's a very good question. So right now we have a mix of both. So there's a lot of when we say just for our ingredients to understand off market, and so what it means is basically a resale side and also the pre-construction. So the good thing is that in our team we have a commercial team which is doing commercial transactions. We have a resale which is an off market, what you call it. No, off market is a pre-construction, right? So we have a pre-construction team and we have a residential resale team as well. So right now, in terms of the sales, we're looking at both a mix of 50-50% in terms of the pre-construction, which we call as the off-market sale, and also the resale side of it on that. Because people are looking for the opportunity, they're looking at that. Also, at the same time, investors also looking at this opportunity that it's going to take about 3 to 4 years for a property to get ready. Even, we're talking about the inflation going up or the interest rate going up for next couple of years, for example. For argument's sake, for next 2 years, we're going to see that. Anybody who's buying into it and looking at this opportunity that they will get the handover in 2025, 2026, 2027, 2028, you can't go wrong with it because we just proved showing the cycle of how the prices started from 1976 all the way to
Yep.
2021. And that's what we are looking at. So right now, yeah, it's a mix of 50-50.
Yep. For audience who's looking for both primary as well as the secondaries, we have our IQI Canada's teams to actually, so don't worry about that. All right. The other questions that the audience was asking that can foreigner actually get a mortgage in Canada?
Absolutely. The buying the mortgage policies is actually good, and
Mm-hmm.
just for our audience, just to let them know, we recently, about like 3 months, 2 months ago, we just closed a few properties for our foreign buyers through one of the local banks over here. They put in about 40% down payment. They got about 60% loan to value was
Mm-hmm.
given up at a regular rate, which is being offered by the bank. So there is no policy that you could charge foreigners a different interest rate. It's going to be the same interest rate which is being enjoyed by any of the local residents as well. So we were able to do that. We were able to close some of these one of those properties for the clients who were going to go and rent it out. At the same time, for their own use as well. So yes, financing is going on for foreign buyers. There is no restriction for the foreign buyers to have the obviously they do require the financials from the back country. They do require a down payment of at least 40% to 45%, depending what it is. But then up to 60%, you can get the loan to value.
Yep. For those audience that who's new to the Canada market, right? A lot of them they will ask, is there any restrictions in terms of the investment amount or any particular markets that they are only allowed to invest? Will that apply to Canada real estate as well?
So the good news is, Mandy, you could invest any amount here. There is no restriction. It does not ask you that you should come with a specific amount of $1 million, for example, to do that. No, you could buy a property for $1,000 to $100,000. You could invest into any kind of amount on that. Number one. Second thing is that there is no restriction right now in terms of the people buying the properties. So there's absolutely zero restrictions for people buying their properties on that. So you could buy into commercial, you could buy into residential. Now for the residential foreign buyers, there's only policy right now which was there before and now it's just increased a little bit is about the foreign buyer tax, which is about 20%, and we what we call is an non-resident, sales tax or speculation tax on NRST. So the way NRST works is that it works in two ways. If you're buying a resale property right now,
Mhm,
at the time of closing, you will pay 20% tax. Now,
mhm,
in 4 years, if you become a Canadian PR, permanent resident holder, you get that money back. If you have a child who's coming for education for next 4 years for a degree program, you will get that money back. The second way is that if you buy into a pre-construction and off-market property, you don't pay the 20% tax right now. You may require to pay it at the time of closing, but
mhm.
a lot of time, I would say 99% of the time, what we call is an assignment sale. So what an assignment sale means, Mandy, is that you could close a property you could sell a property before closing. So, for example, if I'm a foreign buyer today and I buy a property which is going to close in 2028,
Mm-hmm.
and I have to go and sell this property in 2027, I could do that. I don't even have to pay that 20% of
Oh.
non-resident speculation tax on it because this property was actually not registered. So when we say closing, what it means
Mm-hmm.
is a transfer of land, a land title or land deed transfer in your name. That is the time of closing. So you're able to actually, flip the property, make a profit on it, sell the property before closing of the property. So no restriction for the foreign buyers right now. Another thing which has been coming on from people's side is that our foreign buyers banned from buying from Canada.
Yeah.
No, as of now they are not banned. Please, this is just a
Just a
proposal.
rule.
It was just a proposal which is being put in to the government. It has not been confirmed yet. Any
Mhm.
foreign buyers who's looking to buy into property right now are able to do that. They can just come on in, buy their properties. If they've got children coming in, they could come and buy their properties. And as I said, even if you have children coming in and they are going to be here for the next 4 years, even if you pay off 20% tax, you could do it. By the way, even that foreign buyer policy, also, I just want to elaborate a little bit on that. I mean, is that
Mhm.
a lot of people think like that foreign buyer policy is going to stop, for example, parents who will be sending their children over here. No, it doesn't stop them. Even if right now it's not in fact, if it does come into effect as well, it is not that you will be able to not buy the properties, especially if you're sending your children over here. You are on a work permit. You already applied for your PR card. You're still able to buy. So what it means is that it means like a foreign buyer who have no intention of coming over here. And 90% of the time, we're seeing people normally have some sort of family ties over here, which happens on that. So to answer as of now, no, the foreign buyers can buy the property. Yes, 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 they can buy property right now till we get a final go on that.
Okay, and usually this kind of proposal will take how long to actually implement?
It could take up to a year and a half. So this was proposed last year around May. This year around May on that. They've been talking about it for a few months now. That I think if it does get into effect, because it has to still go through a lot of authorities to accept that and go through the bills and stuff like that. It could take up a year and a half right now. So as of now, it's very clear. There is again a rumor going on that maybe by January they will
Mhm.
put this into effect. We don't know that yet. But then that's the reason we are asking the foreign buyers who are foreign buyers right now looking to invest into Canada. Do it now. As I was saying, when was a good time to buy it? Yesterday and today. Don't
Now,
wait till tomorrow.
yeah. So for audience, if you are really looking at investing in Canada by looking at those charts that Yusof was sharing just now, is indeed a very lucrative investments. And in terms of capital appreciations, you talk about rental yield, low vacancy. I guess not many countries could offer that, and this is a good opportunity. And I believe that Yusof later on will share with us some of the hotspots that where you can look into in the events that you're interested to invest in Canada. So, Yusuf, where is the hotspot? This is always my favorite questions.
You know what? In Canada, the way the population is growing right now, it is very important to identify that how the whole market has been behaving and how location has been behaving. And today, I want to talk about specifically about a master plan community which is
Mhm.
coming in Mississauga. It's called the Lakeview Village. Now, what is Lakeview Village? And I'll just share my screen as well. So, Lakeview Village is basically a master plan community which is going to be one of the you know what? Let me just try to just go ahead and share my screen right away. Then it's a bit better. See if I can do it. There we go.
So for audience to just log in, we are talking about Canada market right now, and Yusuf, you're just going to share with us one of the interesting projects,
So
Lakeview.
let me
Okay.
Lakeview. Let me try to play this video. Let me know if you could hear the sound or not. Just hold on, okay? Are you able to hear the sound, Mindy?
No.
No problem.
Like,
Okay, so let me just while we are playing it, let me just tell you what it is at the same time. So this is
no, we can
Canada's.
hear.
You can hear?
It's gonna make it that much better. But we can say goodnight and stay together. Or wouldn't it be nice?
So basically, one of the largest waterfront living coming in Canada is going to be called the Lakeview Village. So what Lakeview Village is going to have about approximately about 8,000 units coming along on that. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
there will be a master plan community which will be coming along on that. It would have again a lot of the one of the Canada's longest pier coming over here. At the same time, there'll be basketball courts, there'll be volleyball courts, there will be a full commercial streets going on, a lot more developments coming in. By the way, this is in the city; it's not anywhere far away. So
Oh,
basically,
really?
if you look here, it's in the city. It's not out of city and things like that. If you could see
Yeah,
here,
we
these
thought
are
that
some
it's
of the
actually out of
locations.
cities.
No, so what happens is that it's a master plan committee of 177 acres. A lot of
Mm-hmm.
time people think that any kind of this community is coming. So this is something which has been worked by it's like 6 and 7 developers together, working on certain properties. And finally, they were able to secure this land last year for 177 acres of land on that. So what it means is that, if within the city is going to be another huge city coming along on that. And again, coming back to our thing that why this particular city, why this particular hotspots and things like that. Number one thing is that the population keeps going up, the immigration keeps going up. People are still the supply is less, the demand is really really high, many. And I must say that also that any of these properties people are looking to get right now, it's not something which is going to get built up overnight. So, for example, Harbor Walk, we're talking about coming up close to about 2027, 2028, which is going to take about like 5 years for it to be built up. If it's getting 5 years to be built up, by that time, you could imagine if I'm talking about 20% rental increase on it from last year right now, you could imagine what the rental would be in about 5 years' time because of the demand and supply. At the same time, also, in terms of the pricing, right? So just to give you a teaser, we're talking about this particular project of Harbor Walk, which is coming along. It's going to be about like 800 units, which is getting launched right now. Right now, and then also these are starting price approximately about $1,300 per square feet, which is really an amazing price. Average price which we have seen going around the areas is been like close to about $1,400. This is again the reason is that because this is the first tower, first few units which is being launched at $1,300 per square feet. Now,
Mm-hmm.
if I'm talking about so many other units coming in, the second phase is going to be much more higher, and that's what we have historically seen in terms of the prices going up on that. So again, it's again a beautiful project connected by 57,000 square feet of country yard. A lot of more things to look into it. Again, if you just if you can just click on here, I think it's not working. Okay, so there it is. So just to give you an overall view, this is how it's going to look like, and this is we're talking about in Mississauga, all right. And when we
Mm-hmm.
talk about Mississauga, it's just about 177 acres of it of the land on that. Now, if you could just look here on that, see, this is where you will see the full master plan community of development coming in, which you will be able to see. This is where the whole waterfront living will be there, and this is going to just change the whole shape of Mississauga, right? On that, and people who know about Mississauga, the airport is in Mississauga. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
it's called Toronto Pearson Airport. So this particular location is like literally about 10 to 15 minutes away from the airport, and it's easy travel whether you're going to east or west, whether you're going to downtown Toronto, whether you're coming to Square One. You're connecting everything. This is how the whole thing is going to really really look like in terms of the overall view when it's been done on it. So again, one of the hotspots which I would recommend right now to look into it is going to be something which I would say is to look at that.
Yeah, it's indeed very beautiful with lots of landscaping, the whole township itself. It reminds me of for those, it's similar like those regenerations master plan township in London. So this is exactly
Yes.
like one of it, and which I would believe that this will give will actually attract a lot of investors to come in and also the locals to live in this
Yeah.
place. It's so beautiful. And of course, talking about capital appreciation, since this is a whole master plans, we own communities. I believe that in years to come, your investment will be definitely a safer bet for these developments.
Absolutely. You know what, Benny, and historically speaking, I would like to let people know because I've been dealing with a lot of my pre-owned pre-construction clients, and we specialize a lot into the off-market pre-construction sales. And historically speaking, I can tell you, every person, including myself, whoever has invested into pre-construction, have seen whatever they have increased. For example, if they put $100,000 on that, by the time they get the property closing on it, at least they're seeing an 80% increase on to their capital. So what it means is that if you put $100,000, you are going to get $180,000. Historically speaking, that's what we have seen in terms of the investment. So your return on investment average is close to about 20 to 25% per year. As by the time you get the actual position in your hand.
Wow, it's so excited. So, for those audience, this is just a teaser. If you would like to know more about this project, stay tuned with us on our program. End of the month, we will feature this project again, and we will share more details. So, again, if you're really interested to look into this project, remember to tune in, join us for the next episode. All right. So, another last questions that our audience would like to know, Yusuf, is about immigrations. I heard that with the recent articles that right now, in terms of the regulations, is actually getting a little bit loosened for the foreigners to actually migrate to Canada. Is that true?
So I'll tell you what has happened maybe is that, during the time of pandemic, somehow or the other, Canada has been able to market herself as one of the most safest place. And a lot of people after pandemic know that this is a place where, God forbid, anything like that ever happens again, Canada would be a very, very safe bet to be on that. So what has happened recently is that the lot of immigration is coming in. A lot of, Hong Kong people are coming in as well. There's definitely some ease of regulations which is coming along right now. For example, international students have really started coming a lot. Please believe it or
Mhm.
not, the international student plays a very important role because once they graduate, they get a 3-year work permit, and the first thing they want to do is as soon as they get their PR card is to buy a house. So that's also a part of the immigration which is driving right now. And in terms of the overall immigration, what we are seeing is that there's a lot of increase which is happening right now. We are seeing some of the policies has been a little bit better. Of course, an immigration consultant would be the best person to talk about it. But having said that, a lot of backlog which was going on that is being getting cleared up right now for the people, and it looks like Canada has always been an immigrant country, and you know what? Honestly, I see that it's going to continue on it. The target in 2019 was to bring in 1.2 million in next 3 years on that. We haven't been able to do it because the pandemic came in, so that of bringing 400,000 people every year from 20, 21, 22, 23 for 4 years. We're not able to do that. We just started doing it back because of the pandemic. So again, in terms of the immigration policies, yes, people are looking to immigrate. This is really a good time to look into those policies as well. And I think this is going to continue for the immigration perspective. And with immigrants coming in, it's always directly related to the properties, and
Mhm.
we are in the business because when people are coming in, they need to start their life. They need to get into some sort of a rental place right away
Yep.
on that, and people are looking to buy as well. So I think immigration is going to continue. We will see that increase, which will continue from the property side as well, because the demand and the supply side is still not balanced. Demand is really high and supply is really low.
Yep. So for those audience that interested to know more about the Canada immigrations, again, stay tuned with us on the next Wednesdays. We will talk about the immigrations. And if you have more questions, feel free to join us and ask our consultants that which will give you a better advice. And hope to see you soon. And the other thing that talking about Canada, okay. Do you mind to tell the audience that how many branches that we have in Canada and what sort of service and support that you can provide in the events that the audience are interested to go to Canada?
Absolutely. So right now we are based in Ontario. We
Mhm.
got 5 offices. Head office is in North York, Toronto. Then we have an
Mhm.
office in Markham. We have an office in Mississauga. We have an office in Halter region, which is Oakville, and we have an office in Kitchener Waterloo in the area which is called the Cambridge office. Not only that, many little bit about the expansion part. We will be opening up two offices very soon. One will be in Alberta, which will be in Calgary, and we're
Mhm.
also working in terms of a licensing in the Vancouver side as well. So
Wow.
in terms of the services, we have a specialized team, whether it is related to your commercial needs, whether it is related to your pre-construction, which is an off market, or it is looking for the resale side of it. At the same time, our team is able to provide you sort of property management services. Well, recently we did a very good strategic alliance with Dell Rental and Dell Suites. So, what is Dell Rental and Dell Suites? Mandy, is that this is basically a company. If you're when you're coming in, you want to look for a place for 30 days minimum. We can put you with Dell Suites. It's a furnished apartment which you can get into it. While you're looking for your own place. Number one. Number two thing is that if you're an investor and you said, what, I don't want to get into the headache of the tenants and things like that. Here's my property. I want somebody to take care of it. That's where the Dell rental and the property management services come in. So they manage the whole property with you. So with us, IQI, globally, we are now connected with Dell. And not only for Ontario, by the way. If you're coming anywhere in Canada with our connection with Dell Rental and Dell Suites, we are able to provide you with that sort of connection to anywhere on that. So the property management service is also there. We work with a lot of professional lawyers. We work with a lot of professional accountants. We work with a lot of professional mortgage specialists as well. We have very good relationship with all the five top banks, which is the RBC, TD, CIBC, Scotia, BMO. We can help you facilitate in terms of your full turnkey operation, or as soon as you land, right from even from before landing, you know our team can help you even open up your accounts with certain
Mhm.
banks, which we're dealing with right now. And for the time you land, you need to place. We have that situation taking care of it. And then after you land, you need to look for a property, whether it's a rental or thing like that is also being taken care by our team on that. Even after that, anything is so it's all about being a service provider. And I like to say that all of our team members are your financial your advisors. So the reason I said they're advisor, they're not just a salespeople, is that because what our team does is they actually look at your needs and wants and see that is it really something you need to do it right now, or is it something you could wait on it. So it's not like about just making a sale and things like that. So I can very well tell you that our team is really capable of analyzing it and advising you at the same time that what would be the right thing to do at this given point in time.
Wow, so proud of our team. We actually literally provide one-stop solutions. Whatever you want, we are here to provide the service to you. I think to the extent that even you want to look for a school for your kids, I think we can help
Yep.
too.
Yep, absolutely. We have the list of those wherever which areas are really people are looking for those high rated schools and things like that. We have a list of everything as well.
Yep. So audience, don't forget today's use of code is that the best time to invest is not future, but is yesterday or now.
To
Okay.
that.
So if you're really interested to know more about Canada real estate, or pertaining any projects or locations, okay, or even to the extent of immigrations, do drop us a line. If we miss any one of the questions from you, we will get back to you later. You can drop us your contact number, or you can actually contact us directly. All right. So, should you know more about our projects that we could offer, you can actually visit our website www.iqiglobal.com, or you can actually search on the Facebook IQI Canada. We have lots of listings listed there as well. All right. So till then, I hope everyone would stay with us. And for the next few episodes, we will continue to talk about the beautiful country of Canada, and we will share a lot of hotspots and beautiful projects for you. All right. So take care, everyone. Good night, everyone. Bye bye.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Bye bye.